Hi, this is Robert from Afterburner Comics. You can find me on Instagram at Afterburner Comics and on my website at afterburnercomics.com. Today we are taking a look at Luke Cage, Hero for Hire number 9. This was published by Marvel Comics in 1973. This story is titled Where Angels Fear to Tread, and it's written by Steve Englehart. The artwork is by George Tuska and Billy Graham. Billy Graham is the assistant artist on this issue, but he does go on to become the main artist for the Luke Cage title, and he later goes on to do some phenomenal work on Black Panther. Before working with Marvel, Billy Graham worked with Warren Comics, and he worked on Vampirella, and he served as the art director for Warren Publications. In this issue, we open up with this amazing splash page of Luke Cage bursting into the headquarters of the Fantastic Four, the Baxter Building. Luke explains to the Fantastic Four that he wants to borrow a rocket ship to go and confront the Fantastic Four's greatest enemy, Doctor Doom. This is the first meeting between the Fantastic Four and Luke Cage. Reed does mention that he read a newspaper article saying that Luke was honest and dependable, and Medusa was one of the Inhumans, and she was also a reformed criminal, so she was kind of hanging out with the Fantastic Four at this time. And so she's in the building. What does Medusa say here? Oh, she says, I must say, Reed Richards, that I rather admire this man's spunk. And so Medusa was kind of co-signing for Luke Cage here. So between Medusa's co-signing and I guess the newspaper article, Reed decided to loan the rocket ship to Luke so that he can go and have his meeting with Doctor Doom. Another thing that comes into play here is the pettiness of Reed Richards. Yeah, he kind of trusted Luke because of the newspaper article and just Luke's general demeanor of presenting himself as a straightforward person. But Reed is also showing a tendency here to not waste any opportunity to throw a problem at his greatest enemy. Upon arrival at Doom's castle, Luke is immediately attacked by Doom's security forces. Luke has got super strength and a real bad attitude, so these security forces don't last very long against him. At the same time that Luke is making his approach to the castle, he encounters a group of robots and an alien who kind of looks like a robot, but he's not really a robot. He's kind of leading a robot rebellion against Doom. Doom is very big on tinkering with machines and making inventions, and he often uses robots for his own purposes. Actually, in an earlier issue, he used robots in New York, and he hired Luke Cage to basically take out the robots, which segues into the reason why Luke has traveled to Latveria to see Doom. Doom hired Luke to do a job and did not pay him. Of course, the issue of non-payment does not sit well with Luke. He confronts Doom. They have a battle. Doom has got this incredible armor that will hold up against the Fantastic Four, but Luke's attack plan is very straightforward. He simply picks a spot in the armor and keeps hitting that part of the armor until he breaks through the armor and basically disables the armor. As Doom is at his lowest point, the robot rebellion and that alien robot rebellion leader show up. This rebellion leader says, okay, Doom, I've got you now. You're helpless. The alien takes out a ray gun, and he's about to kill Dr. Doom. And at that point, Luke Cage says, no. Luke stood back while the alien and Dr. Doom were having their confrontation until it got to the point where it was clear that the alien intended to kill Dr. Doom. And at that point, Luke steps in and takes action It's at that point that Dr. Doom comes to a realization. He has a moment of clarity, and he says, whoa, there's something else to this guy besides just being this super strong do-gooder. This guy has a moral code, a sense of honor. And that's the point. That point where Luke Cage stepped in to save the life of someone that he had a problem with. That's the point when Dr. Doom gained a respect for Luke Cage as a man. There was a dynamic shift in the relationship between Doom and Luke Cage at that point. This book showcases Luke Cage's first interaction with the Fantastic Four. He would go on in a couple of years from this point to be a great friend and ally to the Fantastic Four, to the point that whenever the Fantastic Four needed some extra muscle, whether Ben Grimm wasn't available or they just needed a strong ally at their side, one of the first calls that they would make would be to Luke Cage. I recommend this book for its value as this kind of almost like a comical confrontation or a comical reason for Luke Cage to go and confront Dr. Doom over, a $200 debt, but also for that deeper meaning that I was saying, in that seeing how the heroes and the villains develop a respect for Luke as an individual outside of his super strength.